going to hit the button and go. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, did we forget about this? Is this something that we forgot about? You see that Mercedes right there, that Mercedes that popped up. The Mercedes that popped up right there on the right-hand side of the screen. Maybe it's your left-hand side. I don't know. Because I'm starting to think maybe we don't even have the same televisions watching these races. That's what I'm starting to think about. Nico, pump your brakes. Russ, I ain't heard you say nothing crooked yet, but if you're thinking about it, pump your brakes. Everybody out there in TV land, pump your brakes, except for the Hamilton haters and people that don't like Hamilton. Y'all gonna say what y'all gonna say regardless. Don't matter the situation. You're just gonna use this as ammunition. And I really couldn't blame you if you did, right? If the same type of narrative, which has been out there, right? I mean, let's not act like this is not the first race that Red Bull has finished without a hiccup, right? This is the first race that they finished without a failure, a retirement, a DNF, an NC, whatever you want to call it. This is the first race both Red Bull cars finished without being retired. So there's been plenty to say about Red Bull. All right, there's been plenty to say about Aston Martin. There's even things to say about Alpine. Hell, they can't keep their side pods on, although this weekend, not all their fault. But let's get back to this. With this narrative that is starting to be generated about Hamilton just totally falling off, I want to bring a little bit of context to this situation because I don't think he's falling off. Now, is he mentally and emotionally pissed? I think so, but the same thing could be said for Russell, as we've heard in some of his radio telecommunications, right? But I mean, he doesn't seem happy about certain things, especially being in a car that doesn't really seem to be that competitive. Although, meanwhile, a car that many of you are saying is not competitive, yet they were second in constructor and driver points up until this last race in Imola. So I think, you know, prematurely you getting on your bandwagons, and some of you are even jumping ship because y'all not loyal anyway. But let's bring some context to this real quick, okay? So in this race, I'm just going to go through results. I'm not finna go through a whole breakdown. I'm finna just go through this. And you notice the Performance Talk sign is not on. The Performance Talk sign only comes on when you meet us live. I can't even grab a VIP box because I shipped the VIP box off to the winner. Big shout out to Buck Dollars, supporter of the channel, big super chat man. So that's off. So I will have to get one of the other VIP boxes, put it together, do my thing with it, and that VIP box will sit here on the desk until the next viewer earns their points and they get their VIP box shipped out. But back to this. So in the chronological order, all right, Hamilton and Russell. In practice 1, Hamilton 18, Russell 10. In quali, Ham 13, Russell 11. It's not that far off. In P2, Ham 4, Russell 1. Now, when it comes to the sprint grid set, Hamilton 13, Russell 11. We're talking about 2 spots. When it came to the finish, Hamilton 14, Russell 11. Russell didn't go nowhere. I mean, he didn't move. He stayed 11th. Now, Hamilton, on the other hand, he fell back 1. Now we get to the racing grid. It is as it said, because in a sprint, a weekend where you finish in a sprint is basically your qualification where you're going to sit for the race. So race finish, Hamilton 13 jumps up a spot, Russell 4th. That's a movement, right? That's a little movement. But it seems that people don't want to say where this movement came from, right? Because up until now, let's just go over this. In the past 3 rounds, round 1, Hamilton qualified 5th. He finished 3rd on podium. Russell qualified 9th. He finished 4th, moved up some. We know what happened in round 1 that led to some of that movement. We're not forgetting about that, right? Okay, so technically we almost could say the grid moved up due to circumstances. That happens in a race. Not taking that away. Just keeping context, right? Because I know some of y'all going to be like, oh, but Hamilton only got podium because Max and Perez couldn't finish the race. Well, that's Red Bull's fault. Shit happens. I mean, are y'all going to throw the same? Are y'all going to be objective out there when Max, well, I guess we could be objective this time around, but when Max gets first and it's only because 2 other cars or somebody didn't finish or maybe somebody wrecked or whatever the case is, somebody pitted, wrong strategy? No, that's going to happen. We only going to really, I don't need to get into that. But anyway, round 2, Hamilton qualifies 16th, finishes 10th, 6 spots. Russell qualifies 6th, finishes 5th, 1 spot. Hamilton qualifies in round 3, 5th, finishes 4th. Russell qualifies 6th, finishes 3rd. All up until this time, Russell and Hamilton have been relatively close due to this car situation. Due to the things they have going on with this car is not right yet, right? It's not right yet. But it seems this weekend, more than ever, people want to go into driving a wedge in between not only the teammates, but as always, the rest of the grid versus Hamilton. That is what we have continuously and predominantly see. The rest of the grid versus Hamilton. Even in the own Mercedes' backyard, you all, a lot of you, not you all, because I want to be fair to people that don't do this. A lot of you, oh, can Russell beat Hamilton? Can Bottas beat Hamilton? But a lot of times when it comes to talking about other teams, you don't use the verbiage of beat. You use challenge or push. But when it comes to Hamilton, it's the word beat. Can he get him out of that seat? Can he stay in front of him? The verbiage tells you the place and origin from which your mind is on said subject, right? I don't mind Russell challenging Hamilton. I don't mind Hamilton challenging Russell. That's what they should do as teammates. And both of them want to win and be champions, right? In their own right. That's what they want to do. Cool. But let's look at this weekend. Let's look at this weekend. All right? Because y'all acting like Russell came all the way from 11th. 11th. Y'all acting like Russell came from 11th, just straight earning and burning his way. That's not what happened. That is not what happened. Russell did not come from 11th by straight earning and burning his way. No, he did not. Right off the back, what happened in Imola? Right off the back, what happened between Daniel and Sainz? We just showed you the video. They had a collision. Right there and then, Russell, and it was even said during the broadcast, Russell benefited. He jumped 11-6 right off the back in the race. I think Hamilton only ended up jumping like what, from like 14 or 13 to like maybe 12 or something like that. Russell jumped 11-6. He benefited right from being right there at the door of that incident, luckily not getting clipped, and you saw him on the right side. Boom, he benefited right there. He jumps 11-6. So then I ask you all, do we have the same TV? Are we watching the same broadcast? Are we watching the same 2022 April 24th Formula One Dino Ferrari Grand Prix? Are we watching that one? Because then following that, I believe down in lap 53, 54, what happened? Okay, if you don't know what happened, I'm going to tell you what happened. Charles decides to not protect for points to continually further his lead in driver championships, which he's still good. He's still Gucci. He could have been a lot better. He presses up on Perez, hits the sausage curve, and damages his car. He has to come into the pit right there and then. Norris jumps up to third. Russell benefits to fourth. To what? To fourth. He benefits to fourth off another incident. 2 times Russell benefits from incidences right at his front door during the Grand Prix. That is why Russell finished fourth. Russell did not drive his. Did y'all see? Listen, I went back, watched the race. Did y'all see Russell moving his ass through the pack when DRS was not enabled? Did y'all see Russell moving his ass through the pack from without any incidences? No, this did not happen. This is just how races go sometimes. But I just hate when people leave these things out when you want to try to criticize somebody else. Like, oh, he falling off. Oh, Russell and Nico, you did good on your F1 analysis. Like you try to put a little bit of better soft touch on it, like real touch on it. But for you to say, let's not forget Russell did finish P4 in the same car. Russell finished P4 in the same car in a different placement with incidences that happened right at his front door. Come on now, you look at the rest of the time. What are we talking about? They've pretty much have been reliable and consistently complacent, if that could be a phrase, consistently complacent. I just made it. I coined that phrase. You're consistently complacent. They have yet been able to really move through the grid as they want to without any benefactors really happening because the car is not right. Now, they are both still showing you that in subpar cars, Hamilton, Russell can be very good. Very good. I don't know if other drivers such as Gasly, Albon, Magnussen, Bottas, even Vettel right now, I don't even know if Perez could do it. I give Max some credit because he's a good driver, although his wheel-to-wheel, ability has been exposed by Charles and Hamilton in the past. So I just think people need to pump their brakes. Like, you're using this weekend. So what are you going to do later on down the line? Like, if you're not objective now, I'm not saying you got to give Hamilton a bunch of credit. I'm not saying take any credit away from Russell. They both good drivers. But all this shit and fade that's being thrown Hamilton's way is you might want to just chill back a little bit. I'm just saying, I'm just looking. Like, when the time comes, if the time does come, like time has come, I've criticized Hamilton on things that I don't think that he should have done. I've done that. But I fairly criticize him just as I do anybody else, except for I could be a little rough with Max when it comes to his character. But when it comes to Max's like driving, I don't like his aggressiveness because he's over the line and he doesn't get penalized as much as he should because we went over the penalties and fines before we went over this. But I'm just going to say it. I know some people going to be like, what the hell, Wolfpack? I still think Max is a talented driver. He's still the human era champion because, listen, answer this question in the chat because y'all try to go back and always say, oh, he had the better record and all this stuff. Does Max win the World Driving Championship without the Massey stimulus while he was getting gapped anywhere from 10 to 14 seconds? We're not talking about racing incidents. Right? Latifi had his crash. Cool. But even while Latifi having his crash, if Massey doesn't screw up the whole process and procedure as he did, and it's factual, he did, ain't no debating that. He screwed it up. And we could go up the ladder and say the stewards also screwed it up. Even without that, if they just let the cars finish every red flag and do all that, if they just let the cars go, does Max win that? No. Max doesn't win that race without the Massey stimulus. He doesn't. It just doesn't happen. So he's always going to be the human era champion. That's going to happen, but he's still a talented driver. But anyway, I'm just coming on here to say pump y'all brakes. Things are developing. Imola was not the best place to bring updates. I said that in the last video. Miami hopefully will be a better place for updates to give the teams more data and understanding of what direction they're going to take next. Also, Miami can be finicky on weather. It can rain one moment and dry up the next. But the good thing is it can dry right up and you can get right back on. But if you don't forget, we on the coast, like ain't no telling what kind of thunderstorm systems can move in and just screw it all up. It happens in Miami. Like rain is prevalent there. It just happens. But I'm looking for it to be good. You want to be here. I will be live doing quali and for finale lap post the race. And we're going to have a good time. I'm probably going to pop some bottles. You know what I'm saying? So we're celebrating new Miami GP in the U.S. I'm probably going to do the same for Vegas in 2023. I'm going to do a little bit different. But anyway, be safe. Let's build together. Peace. Thanks for tuning in and watching another video here at Wolfpack Performance. Check out some of my other content on Formula One issues, our topics, and our DIY products on how to customize your vehicle. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.